All right, Zach. Thanks for joining me here today.
No problem, man.
This is probably is this one of your favorite places in the city?
You bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you lived in Salem?
Off and on my whole life.
Yeah?
I was born in North Salem in 1980, and then
Yeah.
I moved to Colorado in 1989. But my father's family was all from here. I kept in touch with all my good friends, and over the years just kept coming back. All my friends from Colorado would come out here. My friends from Salem would go to Colorado, and then graduated high school, and I moved back here that summer.
Yeah.
So, and then
Was
I
that
like Cambridge and off and on other places, but
Was that a personal priority for you to get back to Salem?
I just always liked Salem. I don't know. It was like the place I wanted to be. I always felt at home here.
Yeah.
Lots of good memories. And then, when I moved back when I was 18, kind of picked up right where I like all my friends were still here. Got to hang out with them. We were all older. We could go out and have fun.
Sure.
Yeah, but I always wanted to come back here. And this is now the third time I've been back, and we're not going anywhere. So
What's the difference of the Salem from when you were a kid, pre 9 years old, to now? Like how has the city changed? Your perception of it.
I don't know. I feel like there's more going on. There's new people, there's new energy, but at the same time, like, it's still the place that I grew up. I don't know. Like, I don't, like, there's changes happening everywhere. Like, there's a hotel over here. There's all types of stuff going on, but it still feels like home, I think the weirdest thing ever was when Bernard's, which was on the mall, it was a jewelry store. When that closed, that was kind of like the first time I was like, because my mom worked there and I kind of grew up going in there.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I was like, that was a big change, But yeah, I don't know. It's new, but it's still the same. That's why I like it.
Yeah.
Like this store.
Yeah.
It's been here my whole life.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I'm originally from Central Virginia, and the last couple of times I've been to Richmond, there are a couple of spots for me that are kind of like the record exchanges for you.
Right.
But I feel like that town has wholesale completely changed, and I do not feel at home there. I feel more at home here than I do there now. It's real interesting.
It's funny because I was back in Colorado because I spent 10 years of my pretty important part of my life there.
Sure.
And I didn't, like, Denver's changed to the point where, like, it's not the same place that I remember.
Yeah.
But then I come back here and it still feels like home. I don't know. There's something about it. Even my mom says it. When she comes back, she'll come back once every, 5 years, and she feels at ease here, which is cool.
Settles right back in.
Yeah, it's good, but.
So the people that do still know you and know you here, how did they know you? They see you walking down the street. They're like, oh, that's that guy that does that thing. What's that thing?
Usually chasing the twins around, probably, or Caroline, or the guy riding bikes with his kids and people freaking out because, it's like me and then it's like them behind me. But and other than that, like, I've always kind of been involved, like the notch guy, the beer guy.
Yeah.
I'd say that's probably it. Either twins or beer.
Yeah, they're either yelling at you and your kids or asking you for beer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you get involved with Notch and Chris?
Long story, but I'll make it quick.
Sure.
We had a mutual friend, this guy Jeff Lawrence, who owned the Weekly Dig, which was an alt paper in the city.
Yep.
I was living in Cambridge. My wife and we were getting married, and we were moving back to Salem. And we were at a Dig party, and he was like, hey, you should really meet this guy. I think you guys would get along well. He might open a brewery in Salem. I was like, perfect. So he introduced me to Chris. He and I would just hang out at the Pig's Eye, drinking Gansett, and he told me the idea. And then from there, we just kept in touch, and we got to hang out more and more and more and more. And then, I think I've been working for Notch now for almost 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool to see it, like, from just an idea to, like, what we have going on now, which is awesome,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and prior to that, and one of the reasons I asked you to come to the Record Exchange today is I've kind of been pulling people that are involved in the local music scene. Angela Lee came by and Sarah Mann. You have a music background, music-related background, right?
Yeah. Prior to beer, I worked for a bunch of different record companies. Like, it was the Universal Music Group, but I worked with, like, MCA Records and Geffen Records and Verve. And, that was, like, my first real job. And I think I was 18 when I started working there in the mailroom, like, dropped out of college and just did that. It's actually the longest job I ever had. I think I worked there for almost 9 years. So like Notch is creeping up. But
Oh, that's fine.
yeah, yeah.
So, was that locally? Was there like
So like it was artist
a label
development.
outpost that was nearby here, or like the Boston area in general, or?
So we had an office in Wakefield
Okay.
for a long time, and
Yeah.
then I started right. The music industry was like making tons of money,
Yeah.
and then I watched it just like shrivel to nothing.
Yeah.
So we had this gigantic office with all these people in it in Wakefield, and then we moved to Wellesley and to like a closet, and the next thing I know, I worked from home in Cambridge, and then just it all went away.
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
weird.
yeah. But I covered like all of New England and upstate New York.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fun.
It's fun being a record rep. It's fun, but it's also, like you said, you covered all of New England and upstate New York. Like
I mean, I say
It's a
that
lot.
It's a lot. I say that, but it's like we plan a trip twice a year to go visit those stores. It was more like calling and emailing.
oh, so you did retail specifically?
Yeah, yeah. So it was
Ah,
like
okay.
it's funny. I've spent my entire life, professional career, either in a record store or in a bar.
Not,
Like
not bad places.
pretty
to
much
hang
that's what
out.
I've done my
Yeah.
entire life. So,
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Can't complain.
Oh, what's going to happen when the twins are old enough to drink?
Well, I don't know. You know, hide the beer in the garage, I guess.
What are you doing to make Salem a better place?
I don't know. I'm a big advocate for Salem. I feel like if you were to talk to a lot of my friends in the city, like I love this town and I talk about it in all the positive ways. I try not to get like too down on like things that some of the silly stuff that drives people crazy.
There's a lot of silly stuff.
Yeah, and I
That's-
try to like not focus on that and
A lot of
and,
people crazy.
just like there's a lot of for all like the silly stuff that people get mad about. There's so much cool stuff going on.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like I'm like an ambassador for the city, like outside of the city. And
What
there's
do you tell somebody that you know that's maybe never been here before? Like, what do you tell them to like
to do.
to draw them in to like? It's not just some North Shore mass whole town. Like, what is it about Salem that you think can pull people in?
I feel like everybody said this, but it's the community. Like there's and I think that like going back to your first question about like why do you like Salem?
Yeah.
I feel like it's such a community based like city, town, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
And I think once you get involved in that, it makes it hard to leave. Like you got to get out of your comfort zone. But there's so many like good people in this town.
Yeah.
When we first moved here, we started going to Front Street. Like every single person in Salem, right? Like I can't even imagine how many businesses started like just by having coffee in that place.
Sure.
But we got to know Chris and Brenda, and like we had our daughter was just born. But the amount of people we met like through that coffee shop
Yeah.
was amazing. So when I tell like when people move here and they're like or when they come to visit, like where should I go? Like always go to Front Street. Hit up the museum, walk around, like come to the record store. Like, don't be afraid to walk up the hill and go to Majors, things like that. You know. But yeah, it's. I think just pushing people to go out and explore the town and not just like do the witch stuff, which is also cool. But
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah.
Well, thanks for your time. You got big plans for the weekend?
No,
Good.
my wife is working, so I got the kids.
All right.
Yeah.
More chasing the twins.
Yeah. It's good though. Yeah.
All right, buddy. Thanks for
Cool,
your
man.
time.
Yeah, no doubt. Is that all right?
It's great.
Cool.